Hello, my dear students. Today in English literature, I'm going to teach you next lesson, The Ransom of Red Chief, written by O. Henry. And I'm sure that at least a few of you might have watched this movie or read this book. And those who have watched or read this book knows that it's very interesting. Now, at the end of this chapter, you should be able to answer the question answers and reference to context, sentence formation, antonyms, dictionary words, then in language, subject and predicate, also imaginative writing you need to do. And you know very well that it's about adventure and imagination. Let me tell you about the author O. Henry. William Sidney Potter, better known by his pen name O. Henry, was an American short story writer. And his style is very interesting, that is concise, simple, playful, and with witty content. He chooses always contemporary settings and use of dialects and real places. Dialects means the local language. And final twist is always there in his stories with a surprise ending. And the first person narrator not being the focal character. The setting of the story is in Summit, Alabama in America, and the characters are Ebenezer Dorset, his father, and Bill and Sam. They are the thieves and kidnappers. Johnny, the red chief, the naughty boy of the story, and the main character. Now let's move to the story. Ransom, the sum of money demanded for the release of a captive. I'll be introducing the words in between, so please be attentive and enjoy the story. The story is in words of Sam, one of the kidnapper. So he says, "We were down south in Alabama, that is in America. We in the sense Sam and Bill Driscoll. Okay, when this kidnapping idea struck us." So Sam says that Sam and Bill Driscoll were in Alabama when this kidnapping idea struck them. Bill and me had about $600 and we needed just $2,000 more to buy some land in western Illinois. We figured that family love is strongest in semi-rural communities and decided to do our kidnapping in Summit, a small town. Summit is a small town in Alabama. We selected for our victim the only child of a prominent citizen named Ebenezer Dorset. Mr. Dorset was known for his wealth and which he made from lending mortgages and making foreclosures. So, what do you understand by mortgage and foreclosure? Mortgage is a loan taken when buying a property, and foreclosure means to take back the property when the money is not returned. So, Mr. Dorset used to have a lot of wealth because he was lending mortgages and making foreclosures. The kid was a boy of 10 with freckles and bright red hair. Bill and me figured that Ebenezer would agree to pay a ransom of $2,000. But wait till I tell you what happened. That was their expectations, but you know what happened. About 2 miles from Summit was a little tree-covered mountain. On the rear slope of this mountain was a cave. There we stored provisions, means whatever things they need, they have stored it over there. One evening, we drove in a buggy past old Dorset's house. The kid was in the street throwing rocks at a kitten on the opposite fence. "Hey," says Bill, "would you like some candy?" And what the boy did? The boy threw a piece of brick at Bill's head. That boy put up a fight, but eventually we got him in the buggy and drove up to the cave. After dark, I drove the buggy back to the village I had hired it in and walked back. Means the vehicle which was used for kidnapping he has returned. Bill was examining and treating the scratches and bruises on his face and legs. There was a fire burning in the cave, and the boy was sitting by it with 2 bizarre tail feathers stuck in his red hair. He points a stick at me and says, "Ha! Cursed paleface! Do you dare to enter the Red Chief's camp? He's all right now, says Bill. We are playing Indian. I am Old Hang, Red Chief's captive, and I am to be scalped at daybreak. Ouch! That kid can kick hard. That boy seemed very happy. The fun of camping out had made him forget that he was a captive. Means even though he is kidnapped, he is enjoying that situation. He immediately named me Snake Eye, the spy, and announced that I was to meet my end the next day. Then we had supper, and he filled his mouth full of bread and gravy and talked. His speech went something like this. He said, I never camped out before. It's fun. But I had a pet once, and I was 9 last birthday. Are there any real Indians in these woods? I want some more gravy. Does the trees moving make the wind blow? We had 5 puppies. What makes your nose so red, Hank? My father has lots of money. Are the stars hot? Do oxen make any noise? Why are oranges round? A parrot can talk, but a monkey or a fish can't. That boy was going on talking, but all unrelated and irrelevant things. Okay, and now what happened? Every few minutes he would remember that he was an Indian and would let out a war whoop that made Old Hank shiver. That boy had Bill terrorized from the start. I said, Kid, would you like to go home? Oh, what for? Says he. Means he is not interested to go back home. He is happy with the kidnappers. I don't have any fun at home. I hate school. I like camping. You won't take me home, Snake Eye, will you? He is calling the kidnapper Snake Eye. Don't take me home. Not right away, said I. Yeah, said he. I never had such fun in all my life. At about 11 o'clock, we spread down some white blankets and went to bed. Red Chief kept us awake for 3 hours, jumping up and reaching for his rifle and screeching in our ears as each crackle of a twig or the rustle of the leaf made him imagine that outlaws were approaching. At last, I fell into a troubled sleep and dreamed that I had been kidnapped and chained to a tree by ferocious pirate with red hair. Just at daybreak, I was awakened by awful screams from Bill. Means the boy is troubling Bill a lot. I jumped up to see what the matter was. Red Chief was sitting on Bill's chest, holding him by the hair. In his other hand, he had the sharp knife, and he was seriously trying to take Bill's scalp, as he had promised the evening before. I got the knife away from the kid and made him lie down again. But from that moment, Bill's spirit was broken. He lay down on his side of the bed, but he never closed an eye again in sleep as long as that boy was with us. Means he's scared of that boy actually now. Ain't it awful, Sam? Awful in the sense very terrible. No one will pay money to get a little M like that back. No one will be ready to give money, he is telling. His parents will, said I. I went to the top of the little mountain and looked around. Over towards summit, I expected to see a search party, but what I saw was a peaceful landscape. Perhaps, says I to myself, it has not been discovered. Means he wanted to check whether people have come to know about the kidnapping or not. That's why he went there and he was checking. When I got to the cave, I found Bill backed up against the side of it, breathing hard, and the boy threatening to smash him and a rock half as big as a coconut. He put a red hot boiled potato down my back, explains Bill, and then mashed it with his foot, and I hit him. I took the rock away from the boy and kind of patched up the argument. I'll fix you, says the kid to Bill, which means he is troubling them a lot. By and by, Bill calms down and says, Sam, you won't go away and leave me here alone, will you? Means he's scared whether his partner will leave him and go. I went out and caught that boy and shook him until his freckles rattled. If you don't behave, says, I'll take you straight home. Now be good. Means you have to behave properly, otherwise, I'm going to drop you home. I made him and Bill shake hands. Then I took Bill aside and told him I was going to Poplar Cave, a little village 3 miles away, to find out what reaction the kidnapping had caused. He wanted to know what reaction is happening in his village. You know, Sam, says Bill, I have stood by you in earthquakes, fire and flood, in poker games, dynamite outrages, police raids, train robberies, and cyclones. I never lost my nerve. Yet, till we kidnapped that kid, you won't leave me long with him, will you? Again, his partner is saying him, I have been with you during all the times, all the crimes or anything we have done together, even this too, but this is too dangerous. I'll be back soon, says I, and you must keep the boy amused till I return. Let's write the letter to Mr. Dorset demanding the ransom and how it should be paid. Bill and I wrote it while Red Chief strutted up and down guarding the cave. Bill begged me tearfully to make the ransom $1,500 instead of $2,000. Means Bill is telling that we will give this boy back to his parents, just reduce the decided ransom. So to relieve Bill, I agreed. Okay, and they started writing a letter to his father. And it read like this: Ebenezer Dorset, we have your boy. It is useless for anyone to attempt to find him. We will only return him if you meet these terms. We demand $1,500. The money to be left at midnight tonight at the same box as your reply at the Lone Tree. Send your answer by messenger at 8:30 tonight. If you attempt any trickery, you will never see your boy again. If you pay the money, he will be returned to you safe. And well, these terms are final, and if you do not accede to them, no further communication will be attempted. And at the end, they mention two desperate men. Okay, so this is what they did. They wrote a letter to his father mentioning the terms and conditions and what is their demand. Today, we have seen that the two men kidnap a boy who is very naughty, called as Red Chief. The men kidnapped him because they are in need of money, and they bring him and keeps in a secret place, but that boy troubles both of them a lot, and they finally write a letter to his father mentioning their terms and conditions and their demand. And let's see what happens in the next class. Till then, bye bye everyone. Take care and thank you.